Okay, there we go. Okay. Sorry if anyone actually was there for the technical problems. I had been logged out of my normal account. Anyway, I have some additional time at home thanks to current events involving contagious diseases. So hopefully this won't date the video by making references to it. But anyway, I'm going to be since I have at least 3 days here, three streaming opportunities in a row. I'm going to be doing a three-part photo set from 2005. This was from a special Cape May Seashore Line charter that I was invited to go to. That was a pre-season event, sort of a warm-up before Cape May Seashore Lines began operation. It was not an official event, wasn't a railfan chapter. A member of the staff there did it for his friends, and he liked some of my stuff and invited me along. So this was very much non-official type of thing. Unfortunately, this sort of thing doesn't happen, mainly because the Cape May Seashore Lines got vandalized, the bridge doesn't work, etc., etc. Actually, this is after the bridge stopped working. I'd been invited to some of these events previously, so this was just the second one I'd been able to attend, and they haven't happened in some time, mainly because Cape May Seashore Lines doesn't run in the Cape May segment anymore, mainly concentrating on the Richland to Tuckahoe route, which is sort of blah, but the kiddies like it. Anyway, I'm just going to start getting going here, because this is, I guess, probably, since no one's watching it, probably for the benefit of a trip, and then that'll be the majority of it over the next the multiple nights. This was still when I was using Amtrak to get to and from Baltimore, where I had been for graduate school. What the heck just happened? Here you can see, this is just a picture of a brand new shoot. Just gonna do it on all of that? Yep. Nope. There it is. Don't you hate it when you hit the wrong hotkey and crap gets turned on? How the heck did I hit Control-Alt-M? Anyway, so again, I just took a picture of this catenary section break at Baltimore Penn Station. Probably should have pulled up the so that's pictures. I just gotta find the while no one's watching, I'll go through and find where these photos are. I'd probably just number them sequentially. There they are. Yep. Anywho, let's get rolling. So this is part of Charles interlocking, which is within the limits of the station. You can see the signal thing there. So it'd be track 7. Alright, let's get underway. Hope everybody's staying safe out there. You don't have to panic, but definitely take basic precautions. Keep your hands washed. Sanitize after you. Don't interact with too many people, etc. So here we have another thing you don't see anymore, HHP8. I already pre-checked this, so this is number 658 of the 15 they got, which is between 650 and 664. This is the Wilmington Station platform, taking out the side of the Amtrak window of whatever train I was on. Huh. Wonder if this is even something I bothered to even process back in the day. Just figured it was trash stuff. Here's where you can see that where I got got this stuff. Bank One. That's not there anymore. I think they turned into Capital One. They're a big thing in Wilmington to this day. Despite everything being a Delaware corporation, you don't actually have to have your headquarters there. It's, I guess at some point I got a vestibule view. I don't think I was changing to a SEPTA here. I guess that HHP8 regional was still at the platform when we left, because we have a stop and proceed at did the wrong color adjust there. I was trying to get rid of some blue, but get rid of some red, but I got rid of some blue. I took these pictures because I had specifically become aware that Landleth and Hook Interlocking had lost their pneumatic switches, which was a portent of things to come. Might have just been shooting this through the back window, through the back double pane glass. Let's see what switch this is. That would be the 23 switch. Sorry with the boring stuff. It picks up. There will be all sorts of fun historic things. This would be the 32 switch. Looks pretty decent. So again, like I said, these are just pictures I took to confirm that the A5's air switch machines had been removed. Oops. Not the greatest pictures. Not even sure I would have bothered to see. This is one of those. I had the camera, but I didn't bother ever taking pictures of this stuff. So I lost the chance to get a picture of what the air machines here were like. Sorry for the boring stuff. This is going to be the 19 switch. This is one of the other reasons why I don't do a lot of my modern things, which are just a lot of surveys. You don't want to just see me sitting around trying to figure out mileposts and how to describe interlockings. Maybe this isn't the 19 switch. This is something different. That's a 21. That's right. This is sort of where track 1 starts. The not very frequently used track 1. Moving on a bit, here we have SEPTA trains at Hook. Marcus Hook was, and to a degree, kind of still is, a terminal, a fairly major terminal for the Wilmington line. This is because service to Wilmington is, it's one of those, if Delaware gets what Delaware pays for. It's not like SEPTA's it does not consider itself captive, because they can turn at Marcus Hook, which is basically the last station in Pennsylvania, so they do so. This is usually seen on weekdays. We're going to have half-hourly service with hourly to Wilmington and half-hourly to Marcus Hook. Whether or not services come back, or who knows what, after the plague is done with its thing. Probably going to be a great way for various powers that be to find ways to permanently cancel a lot of transit out there. Don't like this tint. Definitely shooting through 2 panes of glass here. It's a 43 switch. There we go. SEPTA 173. I think SEPTA trains do, showing you how much. Oh, I see what the problem is. Yep, here it is. Showing you how little things change. SEPTA trains still pass at Hook. I don't think they've really significantly changed the schedule in the 15 years since I took these photos. Probably did use this thing back in the day. Let's see what I can get. Infrastructure, signaling towers, going to go to Hook. Hook. How much each tower? Here we go. Alright, so gotta find where this photo is. Oh, wow. That's the one. Huh. What did I do to clean this up? I actually got rid of the tint. Or did I? Oh, so here this is great, because Hook still has its A5s. And you can see the airline right there. So Landleth had gone, but Hook still had its air switch machines, which is nice. So let's see if I can. I'm not sure if I can going to be able. I'll see if I can get rid of the tint. I don't know how I got rid of the tint before. I did something magical that. This Amtrak red rear window stuff on, especially when backlit, is just pretty tough. That's better. Oops. That's not bad, and didn't have to blow out the photo. Ugh. Yeah, it's a shame my camera was so bad. It would have been nice to have some better references for the the old configuration with the air switches. Still, it still has the offset position light signal heads. That means the ones on the lower one are farther forward than the ones above. This was an uncommon configuration on the PRR. There was some examples of this still on NS until recently, but those have pretty much gone away. Specifically, it's CP Pen and CP Gray. Yeah, I'm going to leave all these under their original sort of configuration name. Anyway, hey, something interesting, I think. Yeah, so I just wanted to get Landleth and Hook there. Here we have the Cape May Seashore Line. So the first time I rode this, I did this event, which had been maybe 4 years before this. I had a film camera. The pictures are prints. Anyway, who's around? I got 5 people. Hi, everybody. If someone's asking why I have not been active, it's just because I've been pretty busy for the last couple months, but now not busy. So there you go. Anywho, now we're cutting to the Cape May Seashore Line. So Cape May Seashore Line originally started with a bunch of ex-PRSL RDCs. The guy who owns the Cape May Seashore Line, Tony McCree, bought 9 of the 12 of them, which is an incredible act of preservation. He was running 2 of them, M407 and M410. They started to have some, I wouldn't say they weren't that unreliable. It wasn't like an unreliability issue. It was partly he wanted to make a better passenger experience. Part of that was running a lounge car. RDCs really can't tow anything. So the guy who owns these Lehigh Valley F units dropped them off. I mean, he has whoever some guy owns these Lehigh Valley units. He made an arrangement with Tony that he can run them as the power for the train, and the RDCs can actually act as a cab car, and they provide air conditioning using their engines can also run. They can run the engines for air conditioning. So he was able to get away without having to have some sort of HEP power, an actual HEP power pack. So anyway, here we have. This was the first time I'd been down there for this configuration, and here we have the beautiful CMSL or now I branded this as Cape May Seashore, but I should really since it's been off the property for a number of years. They're not gone. They're not going to get scrapped, but they're just somewhere else. So I'm just gonna give it a Lehigh Valley name, and note the white flags because it is a special extra train. Not that matters in terms of passing. And here we have, of course, looking back this was taken from their 4-H fairgrounds station. I was trying to find where that was. I had it pulled up. So if you go up, if you zoom out. Okay, there's Cape May going down there. The very, 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 very bottom of New Jersey. If people don't know where this is. See? Look, down there. We zoom in. Hopefully it won't crash the browser. And the 4-H fairgrounds, I believe, are there. And I think this was the station right there. You can kind of make out the boarding, quote-unquote, platform. But I could have sworn there was parking there. But I just have to assume that the dirt parking lot was turned into was just redeveloped. Once again, Cape May Seashore Lines doesn't run to Cape May because there was a spate of track vandalism that he was, and the bridge first the drawbridge into the Cape May broke. That was one of the main draws, is actually getting people into Cape May because parking in Cape May was so abysmal. You could park at the Cold Spring Station and take the train into town. That's what got them a lot of government grants and support to ease traffic. Well, the swing bridge they got the swing bridge rehabilitated, then it broke down. Then over one winter, someone came in and stole multiple miles worth of spikes and everything else off the track. Basically killing. He couldn't fix that. He didn't have the money for that. So he had to shift operations, moving between Tuckahoe and Richland, and that's where it's been for about the last 10 years. So anyway, here we have same engine, just reverse at the 4-H Fairgrounds. All right, that's the first block of stuff here. Make sure it's all in order. Yep. Let's see what we got in the chat. Hey, everybody in the chat. Thanks for watching. Sorry it was a little slow to start, but now it's going to pick up. With all my, hopefully with a good raft of crazy stories and stuff. Things you all come here for. Yeah, that's got to be the 4-H Fairground Station. I mean, when I say got to be, not in the pictures here, because that's I thought that was a box car, but that's the canopy. So we'll be able to see how things compare then and not then. I actually brought my dad along on this one. He's there in the foreground. They were using M407. It looks like M407. And they're still kept up pretty well. They use them. I'm not sure that they can self-propel, but maybe I just don't think he likes to run them that way. They are becoming harder and harder to maintain. Although they were pretty maintainable back then. Huh. Yeah, see, there they are. Man, these photos I took back in the day are just terrible. Anywho, I'll just rename this. Don't know why this wasn't in my block. Maybe I didn't want to have my dad in it or something. Who knows? So this is I think that the diesel is pointing north, or yeah, it would be north, railroad north. Do I need any more color in this? Maybe a little bit. Okay, there we go. Here we have the interior of the lounge car. This is a former New York Central parlor car. I don't know the number, and I should, or it has a name or something. This is where Google helps out, which I thought I had a Google pulled up. Nope, got some just. Tavern Lounge number 37. There we go. So, you know, these the tourist lines, they definitely like to have their stuff, you know, beverage sales are a plus. Here we are. Now they have additional RDCs either for parts or whatever. These are former Boston and Maine cars. The Boston and Maine had the largest fleet of RDCs, about 90 plus of the 400. Very heavily used in the Boston commuter area. I do not know these numbers. I mean, a lot of these were converted by MBTA into coaches, so they would have their radiators plated over, the engines removed. I forget if those are still around. Given the placement of the photo, it would have been at 4H, but I don't remember them there. Oh man, I can't straighten this one out because it'll chop off the nose. Oh well. Now this is again 567 or 576. We have the complete train. So using this little wider photo, and there's a field over there. There's your station with the canopy. I don't know where you parked for this, because there's no parking evident there now. Yeah, that's where I was taking the picture from. There's the canopy. Yeah, you can sort of see the dirt, the sandy area there. I just have no idea where you park. It's a shame that that service isn't running anymore. Really fun line. Again, here we have the cab of 576, or the control stand, brake, amp meter, whatever you need. Not very complicated. Very not complicated. It's probably one of the most simple things you can get. I think this didn't have so this was I think this is an F10. These were rebuilt, I think, for Metro North. Back to the Googles. Let's find out what this is. Oh, here you go. It was a former Chicago Northwestern, 1949, and they're owned by the URHS, I think, for a while. The Union chapter. It's a North Jersey thing. Huh. I might want to hold on here. I'm wondering if I should probably make a larger version of this. Did I redo that again? No, I just want to. Oh yeah, I just want to do a sharpen and then save. Yeah, it's sometimes good to have large formats. The interesting thing I always found funny about the old cab units is that like the engineer did not have like you did not like this is a standing eye line. The sitting eye line puts your head a lot lower down in the cab, which I found sort of odd that they give you this giant windows and they'd put the engineer's seated head eye line way low down. There's your engineer's view. Here's your fireman's view. As was the style at the time, as these were totally built for a 5-person crew, crazy crews. Here we have your electrical cabinet and your fault lights, low oil, hot engine. What relay is that? What do we got here? Ground fault reset, ground relay, hot engine, low oil, no power, battery charger, isolation switch, all the good stuff. Ground fault means you've done screwed up and burned out your motors, and now your generator has a ground fault. That means it's not going through the windings anymore. It's going right to the frame. And your blue card. Should have gotten a picture of the blue card with a date, which would have been 1949. A better fireman's view. Alternate control view. There's your whistle thing right up there for the horn. So yeah, like I said, when you're in a private group, you get better tour. You get the full tour that the typical traveling public will not get. This is your probably your most important thing on your DC locomotive. We got your air gauges here. These have probably been replaced multiple times. There's possibly an original one, but who knows? Probably one for your pipeline. That's probably your pipe, your reservoir, and probably something with your independent or something. Anyway, your amp meter. DC engines. Remember, speed is a function of voltage, so if you're not moving very fast and you want to make the train go, it adds more amps. It adds more amps until the windings melt. So pegging your amp meter is never a good thing to do. So let me go here. Huh. Oh, that's why. Oh, damn it. I screwed it up. Oh, Oh crap. Yeah. They were going out of order. I just need to get that one cab one so I can rename it. Need to not do that. Anywho. Let's see what's up in the chat. What's up? Sorry, I'm just trying to deal with stuff. Yeah, I'm doing well. Again, I'll be here tomorrow night and the night after. For sure, there might be a bonus night, but I'm probably going to be able to get back to my normal base of operations on Tuesday. I'm just going to finish up with these cab ones. I kind of did things out of order. That's why there was a bit of a pause there. So, like I said, this was an F7. It says CNW. I don't know if it was sold directly to the CN, like where it went, and you'll see why. But this would be, if it's an F7, that would make it a 567C, or let's see, MD F7B. Yeah, 16567B of a 1500 horsepower. Probably a BC. There were some major changes for how the water worked between the 567B and the 567C. For those who don't know, oops, didn't need to do that. So again, the major EMDS engines, 567, 645, 710. The important thing is the letter. The letter is the block model. Every time you get an you can have different. You can have 645 with a the letter is what really says, like, hey, this is a new type of engine or major revision. So the 567A is a major revision, B, major revision, C. Between B and C is where you have major changes in how the water, the cooling worked. And a lot of the A's and B's were upgraded to to do the C type of cooling. A's and B's are very, very unsupported these days, but C's do have support. This just shows the clearance, I guess, clearance in the engine room. That's my dad again there, making his way. This is when we're heading up toward the cab. So some of these are out of order, but whatever. Yes, this you can tell it's a 567B or A. Because it has these square panels that access the cylinders. You pull those off, you'll see the power assembly inside. Because this is a two-stroke, this whole thing is covered by it needs to be covered by an airbox. The cylinders inside have ports that so this whole box here that I'm circling with the mouse, has a positive air pressure. So when the piston comes down, it exposes these slots in the side of the cylinder wall, air flows into the cylinder and pushes the exhaust out the top through the valves. Then the cylinder goes up, compresses the air that's rushed in, and then again, every time the cylinder descends, it repeats the process. So because you don't have that extra that extra cycle in the four-stroke where it pulls the air in through the top valves. You can make a two-stroke diesel with both sets of intake and exhaust valves, but that gets you weird mixing. You want to have this way the air can come in at the bottom of the cylinder and push out the exhaust through the top. This would have made 1,500 horsepower. The very early ones only made 13. So this is what I was wondering about this, because I thought that this would have been something. This is why I thought it was either whoever owned it installed the cab signals. I don't think they were active. Installed it for the heck of it, or this was installed by the owners. I mean, either the owners installed it because they wanted to run it, like North Jersey or wherever, or it was installed, or this was something that was related to Metro North, or this was related to. I guess if it was CNW, it could have run on the BNSF line, which does require cab. If it was Metro related, it could have. Metro has cab signal requirements. So I don't know, but where these cabs came from. I'm sure if I Googled it again, but it's one of the two. It was either used by Metro or Metro North, or some commuter road, and it had that installed and was left over, or the owners of it wanted it to be cab signal capable. So here's an interesting thing. The CNW thing does tip. So I was looking at these, and these are clearly, they look like cab signal acknowledgers or cutouts or both, but they're made by General Railway Signal. What does that mean? These are for automatic train stop. This is something that is present on the CNW commuter lines. It's made by General Railway Signal, so this is a holdover from its CNW service. Probably one of those is that I think is the acknowledger right there. This might be a cut in, cut out switch. Of course, here we have the ever-present question of like what's in the nose. There's a door. Well, this is what's on the other side of the door. In this case, it's actually not too bad to be able to get through there. Very similar to modern locomotives in accessibility, although not like that little hatch on the little escape hatch you get on Metro North. I did not try to open the door. I should have. Here we have again the cab door and the fireman's seat, and I think the white flag. I guess the white flags were just for photo ops because they got pulled back inside. And of course, here we have the fireman's work area. I don't know how much use these were needing back in the day. I don't even know how the crews worked on a passenger train, if they had a second guy in the cab in the deregulation, in the old CBA era, or if all the people working the train were enough. You have inside the front. Today this would be all taken up by crash energy management stuff. I mean, this is plenty of crash energy management right there. I always loved how the illumination was just provided by some bare bulbs. Same thing with. Oh, and you can see this is where all the equipment for the for the cab signaling and automatic train control was installed in that front area. Here we have the air compressor and things to remove heat from the air compressor. Lots of cooling in there. The first time I went out on this Cape May Seashore Lines, it was just with the RDCs, and one of the air compressors had an issue that it would keep blowing the fuses, and then then you wouldn't have any more air, and then the train would when you went down to below 70 pounds, the train would stop. So we pulled into Cape May on our last fuse because we had extras. We get a little bit farther and a little bit farther. Then you pump up the train. You go a little bit. The fuse they were slow blow fuses, so they would get a little bit. They would blow out. Then your air would go down, and then you'd die. The train would stop. I'm not sure we let it go into emergency. We just would get down to the point and then shut it down. So here again, we have a back view of the 567B, or the front, whatever you consider the back or the front. I'm sure there's an official thing. Probably the back. There's the main generator there. This thing here is one of the two roots blowers that provides the positive air pressure to the cylinder heads. Although a blower usually is signified as being supercharged, these are considered, just the blowers are considered natural aspiration. They don't provide enough to really get a boost. So that's why they always generally call it a roots blower as opposed to a roots supercharger. This is something piping with the air or the whatchamacallit. I'm not entirely sure what this is. I mean, it's isolated. This is the transition between frame mounted and engine mounted stuff, because you have the vibration isolation there. And our oil filters. This is probably on towards the back where you actually do the engine start. This is right by the back door. These things got a lot of oil in them. Unless it's the air compressor that I'm looking at, but I don't really care. All right. Coming down to our last set here. Let me just figure out. Yeah, 67 to 86. Now I'll just do the last bunch here. Only got 7 more to do. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Thank you again, everybody, for watching. Before I get in these last ones, like I said, I know things are a little crazy right now with everything, but take this seriously. You can, above all, try to stay productive. If you have a job, get out there and try to keep up with all those try to give to those businesses that are impacted as best you can. See if you can do to keep them going. If your own business is impacted, see if there's ways that you can keep going with taking appropriate precautions. This is it's not really it doesn't affect everybody, but it affects some people. So here I have the interior of the M407. So the RDCs, the main feature of the RDCs is that you have these. If you're inside an RDC, when you have these giant columns, this is where your cooling and your exhaust goes up. I'm not sure if heating was done through the radiator water or if it was electric. Probably radiator water, but I'm not sure. It's a very big space. It is also interesting how we all know Bud from the AM fleets we've been riding for so long, but you go back 10 years. I mean, I think the first RDC was done up in 49. So you do have the very, very old style, what I like to call the unpressurized cabin square windows, which are kind of coming back thanks to the stretcher regulation that's been around since about 2000. Get back to the lounge car. They weren't really selling beverages, or they weren't trying to what do you call it, shake us down for a food service. So it's more like the bar. Again, here we have the cab of the M407. I have other pictures of the M407 cab, but here we have the reverse cab. You can see there's number 37 through the window. Not sure if it's the F or the other one. You can see the brake looks pretty new. Everything was pretty redone in here. I'll figure out where the F end is, and I'll update these labels afterwards. Here's our host. There's the engineer and the conductor. Again, both of them, they're legit Cape May Seashore Line volunteers, but they just this was like a special thing for them and their friends, and I just happened to be right along. So, Huh. I saved that a bit too much. That's the problem. Getting down to it here. Yep, looking from number 37 into the M407 here. Sometimes it's tough to figure out how to straighten this. And here we just have a brighter version of the other cab view. Well, I think that's going to about do it for today. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow, maybe a little bit later than today, and then the next day. So Sunday night and then Monday to Tuesday. We have any questions in the chat? Yep, it's going to be a lot of RDCs and a lot of Cape May Seashore Line and old manual block signals and all sorts of other crazy stuff. So definitely tune in tomorrow. All right, anybody, stay safe. Try to be productive. Get stuff done. What time? Like I said, it's probably going to be later. It's 10 o'clock now, so it's probably going to be 10. I'm going to try to start it at 10 tomorrow. So check back at 10. That's one of the things. Things get overtaken by events, but I have nowhere else to go. But I just might be having to. I'm at my parents' house to get some work done. And if I'm busy doing something, but I'll try to get on tomorrow at 10. All right. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.